can you come up with a theme? To me, it's like the number one thing, because people use the term experiential. Great. Experiential can mean a lot of things, but what is the theme? What is the concept? What is the idea? And I think some of the things that people miss is it's not just like throwing an idea at the wall and seeing if it sticks. It's asking yourself as a business going to a show, what is your value proposition to your customer? What is the problem that you solve for your customer? What is your customer's point of view? What is your unique solution, right? The other things you can ask yourself, what is your messaging? What is your narrative? And then from there, that's where you go to find a theme. That's where you go to find an idea. That's where you come up with a story that you want to tell as a company. And then you go design and build out and execute something and tie it all together. Mollie, let's start with something that we've done that maybe you've worked on that you think would be a good example for everybody.
Yes. And I think how you just broke that out too was excellent, right? Everybody that's listening to this, if they're planning events and they're working for their company and events and planning, they can literally write down exactly all those value problem solve, your POV, all of that, and then try to think about a theme too. So I think that was excellent how you broke that down.
You know what's the other thing I think about with that? The other thing I think about is a lot of companies already have the messaging. Like they don't have to reinvent the wheel. You know what I mean? Like their marketing department's good. They have campaigns. They have like really dialed messaging and narrative. And it's like, if you were to just say to them like, hey, what do you want to tell your customer? What is it? Like, what do you want your customer to hear? They already have the messaging. They already have these like embedded themes. Take it and run with it, but build your concept, idea, theme, and everything off of that stuff if you already have it.
Yeah. No, so one that we did earlier last year, and this was just very a themed booth, and there was a Canadian dog food company. And so basically they've been going to pet food shows for years and years, right? They were displaying their products. They really just did like big, bold graphics before, like, had a nice structure. The booth looked nice, but then coming with a new booth that they wanted to launch last year, they really were like, okay, what can we do for a theme? And they're in Canada, so it is cold.
It's very cold in Canada all the time.
Yeah, so they wanted to do a lodge theme for their booth. So everything happens, right? It's all this natural product that they're making the dog foods at. It's happening in Canada, less processed, everything like that. So basically they came to us, we talked through a couple different ideas, and we came up about this lodge concept, right? They wanted someone to come like they're walking into like a lodge, a hotel, and a stay. So when you walk into a lodge, right, it's kind of open, airy. There's like big wooden beams up at the top, right? You think brick, you think wood, cafe, because it's cold. You got to get some hot chocolate. Then most of the time there's like a retail space that you can go buy food, whatever at. And so basically we came up with this concept that the whole booth looked like a lodge. So you walked in, there's a huge overhead roof structure that we did. It was a 50 by 50 booth, and it was just from back, 50-foot long. It was a giant wood structure that we put up there to make it actually look like a roof when you walked in. We did, brick pillars. There was a coffee bar there. And then, a small detail that even they went the extra mile. They did printed paw prints on top of the coffee to tie everything in. Then they displayed the bags like retail. So when you really walked in, it was open, airy. There was seating, and it honestly just looked and felt like a lodge, mostly because of the roof structure, honestly.
The roof structure was extremely cool, and it did look like you were walking into a lodge, right? It looked like you were walking into a lodge somewhere cold, somewhere nice, somewhere just like a place you would want to be in that type of weather, right? And I think one of the things that you said that's making me think about here how exhibits like this, how they differentiate and how they stand out, is what you said about like a normal pet company, pet food booth. Like they used to do a nice booth, nice structure. They would put up really nice images of their food and dogs eating them. And it's like, but that's what everybody does.
Yep.
It doesn't tell a story. So if you have 10 dog food companies, there's no story. It's just really great images of probably extremely cute dogs eating food, right? So whereas this is telling more of their story, right, telling the story of who they are. And I think little subtleties like that help people stand out on the show floor. And it's just not that hard to do. You just got to be willing to kind of take the jump and take the risk.